YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Now look, for the past 10 days, I have been busy with cars. That's why I haven't posted anything. You know, I had to take pretty much PTO off of my job to, make sure my girlfriend can get back and forth to work and shit. Her transmission went on her car, which was a whole ordeal. We went through that for like a whole week. Put my truck in the shop, just not getting my truck back as of maybe like a day or two ago, right? So I have been tied up with vehicles like a motherfucker, all right? But my homeboy sent me one of these videos about the gold digger pranks they do when it's like some guy in a wearing a yellow like traffic cone vest, standing next to a Lamborghini, some girl walks by or whatever, and then the guy tries to talk to the chick or whatever the case may be, right? And then she's like, oh no, I'm not talking to you because you're broke, I deserve a six-figure man, all that other bullshit. I don't even know if I'm gonna put the video here. I might not. If you see it in the front, fuck it. But I just want to talk about gold diggers real quick. Okay, look, when I was younger, I used to kind of have something against gold diggers, all right? I used to. But look, man, if you niggas gonna keep being poor decision makers just because you got money and picking these type of women that think like this, then you're gonna have to deal with everything that comes with it. I don't even want to go as far as to say that you deserve it or I want something bad to happen to you. But it's just, y'all know these women be like this. Y'all see them visibly act like this. Y'all use things like cars and money to attract them and then get mad when they act like gold diggers. Personally, to me, that doesn't make any lick of sense. Now, from the gold digger side of the coin, like the person actually doing the gold digging, look, one, you kind of a lazy piece of shit. Like, but two, on the other end, I understand why you're doing it. Like, look, if you don't come from a lifestyle or a life that's like, how can I say it? If you don't come from a life that was like bountiful or whatever, like your parents didn't have money or your people didn't have money or, it wasn't easy for you to get anything or you struggled, like, I can kind of understand why you're going the gold digger route. Like, I don't agree with it, but I'm saying I understand it. Like, look, I get the whole not having money thing and you want to fuck with a person with money, like, because you got to think, no one wants to live a paycheck to paycheck lifestyle. It's just this thing called the government and life. It's kind of set up and designed that way. Like, you're a young man, you get out there, you make it, you get a job or whatever the case may be, right? Your parents may be struggling, so you have to now help out in the house. That was something that happened to me a lot. Like, I came up in a house that didn't have no money. So a lot of times when I got of age enough to make money, I end up paying bills. Like, and then you got to think, you might come from an environment where the father's not in the home. Like, my dad was around, but there was times when, like, put it this way, when I started working, he felt as though he didn't have to work. So, I mean, it kind of created this thing where it's like I kind of wanted a better life for myself. Like, and the older I got, the more I distanced myself from my family to some degree because of the type of shit motherfuckers is on. But we're talking about gold diggers, right? Look, a person coming from that type of environment is going to be money hungry. Or even a person that grew up in, being rich or whatever. You got to think, one of those two. If a person grew up in a sense of like, their environment was rich and their parents had the money too, and then you got to come out here and work in the real world, or your parents don't want to set you up to where you straight for life, you might go the gold digger route because that's a lifestyle that you've become accustomed to and you don't want to lose it. Again, when I was younger, I had a lot of, I kind of had something against it. The older I got, the more I understood that a lot of people that are gold diggers, a lot of that shit be rooted in survival. And I kind of can connect with the survival part of it. Like, okay, meaning like you don't want to live below your, I wouldn't say live below your means, but it's like, it seems like it's flashy, but there's a pinch of survival like thrown in there where it's like, you don't necessarily want to deal with the person, mostly women dealing with men. A lot of y'all don't want to deal with men that are broke. And again, I used to kind of get angry about that when I heard people talk about that and everything just coming from the environment that I come from. It's like, oh my God, motherfuckers just want money out of you. But when you think about it, how this world is set up, I can kind of see why motherfuckers are thinking like that. Like, especially if you're not making it like that, or you're not getting it like that, or you feel as though you're attractive, you want to leverage your attractiveness. To me, I don't like it, but it makes sense. Like I can't get mad at something that makes sense, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, a lot of y'all take a lot of men's money and go buy bullshit with it. Like, yeah, that's the surface level of it. Yeah, that's a part of it. But you got to think about it like this, right? Say you're a woman and you're dealing with a dude and he's broke and you fuck around and get pregnant. Like, you now have to depend on this man to help you get through that pregnancy. So in the sense of like gold digging, I can kind of like, again, I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm going to keep saying that. I don't agree with the method of it at all. But the purpose behind it, it makes sense. Because what, like, okay, would you rather be pregnant in a 1-bedroom apartment struggling to pay the rent? Or would you rather be pregnant in a fucking, 4-bedroom house, if that makes sense, where the mortgage is already paid for? Like, some things make sense because they make sense. Like, and I don't agree with none of this shit that motherfuckers are doing when y'all are selective and you change your mind because you seen a nigga getting a Lambo. But I will say this, I get it. Like, I get why a motherfucker would want to fuck with a person like that. Like, again, if you come from an environment and you don't have it like that, what sense does it make to actually be involved with the person and they, like, okay, I'm trying to figure out what to word it. It's not like niggas are careful with their dick in the first place. Meaning, like, most niggas want to go raw. Most motherfuckers want to, not pull out and all this other shit. I can understand that from the woman's perspective, looking at it like, nah, if I'm going to get pregnant, I'm going to get pregnant from a motherfucker that got it in case this shit go left. So I can at least have the money. Like, it's the same thing when motherfuckers try to push y'all into marriage. Like, most men, for the most part, don't actually need to be married. Like, there's no point in it for most guys. Like, you don't really get a whole lot out of it. But that's why the woman pushes you into it, because a lot of times when girls push you into it, it's for their own survival. Like, a motherfucker can't be around you. Let's say you've been married to somebody for 2 or 3 years. You decide to leave for whatever reason, and then they get nothing out of it. Like, it's more so like an insurance policy for most girls. So it's like, even when motherfuckers are coming at you on some gold digging type shit, it may look one way on the front end, but on the back end, it's really mostly a survival tactic. At least that's how I look at it. Now, with all that being said, from the man perspective, you don't need to be fucking with nobody that thinks like this. Because here's the thing about dealing with gold diggers from the man perspective. Most gold diggers are out for blood. Like, you know how most girls, like, they'll dance around you, play around you, y'all have fun, y'all go on dates. Most girls are dating for some sort of, like, affection or love. Gold diggers have a point, right? And when you get with a gold digger, the first thing they're going to try to do is get as much money out of you as they can in as little time as possible, all right? And as a dude, especially a motherfucker that works like a 9-to-5 job, like, let's say you work at a warehouse, you don't need to come in contact with no woman that even thinks like this. Like, look, I'm saying, I get the gold digger aspect as to why motherfuckers do it, but as far as you being a dude involved with a person that thinks like this, nigga, you make $850 a week minus taxes. You are not gonna be able to keep up with no motherfucker that needs their nails done, hair done, needs tire maintenance. You gotta think about it like this, bro. A gold digger is like a regular girl on steroids, meaning, like, most women come with problems. And most gold diggers, like, they're trying to get their problem solved immediately. Like, their shit, trying to figure out a way to come about it. Most girls have issues, right? Like, motherfucker might need shit done with their car, or, some emotional maintenance. Gold diggers get straight to the point. Like, they're trying to get it out of you immediately. And don't fuck around and get a gold digger that's on demon time. Listen, you'll be laid up in a hotel with this girl, you've been done fell asleep, you either wake up, all your watches, your wallet, your car keys will be gone. Either that, or you'll be involved and you'll wake up and a motherfucker have a gun stuck in your face. It sounds crazy when I say a lot of that, but when a motherfucker's a gold digger, they don't necessarily care about your well-being, if that makes sense. They're just out for the dollar. So if you a motherfucker that dresses with a bunch of gold chains, you look like you got it, you pulling up in a nice car, you gotta look at it like this, right? When you walk around with all this shit, you are basically a magnet for the bullshit that you but you're a magnet for the shit that you need to avoid, if that makes sense.